I want to welcome everyone to the Reno County Commission meeting on this Wednesday, June 24th. At this time, we will start the way we normally start with the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America and a prayer by Pastor Tim Kraft from First Church of God.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Tim.
Thank you all. Let's pray together here. Father God, thank you for this morning. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for the harvest that's come in. And thank you, Lord, just for life in general. And in about 10 days, Father, we're going to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of this country called the United States of America. And no other country in history has been under this kind of an experiment where people can govern themselves. And I want to thank you for it. Thank you for each person that's here. They have their issues and different things. And Father, it sounds exciting as things are going and moving. And we just ask and pray for your presence here where wisdom is needed, Father, where patience is needed. Father, we ask and pray for all of that so we can have a good, concise meeting that touches the lives where it's supposed to be. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Just want to welcome everyone that's here and also on YouTube. I feel that it's time to make a comment regarding the commission meeting decorum. Proper decorum for a public meeting held by the county commission shall show professionalism, courtesy, and respect to all those in attendance. It's time to share. That is a time set aside to share ideas and thoughts, not to run down and belittle. Should one breach this decorum, there will be consequences. I appreciate your consideration. At this time, is there any additions or revisions to the agenda as presented by staff? Does anyone want to take one of these items off the consent agenda?
On the fire truck and stuff, is that in our 2026 budget?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll go to consent agenda. Is there a motion regarding the consent agenda?
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented by staff. Is there any discussion? Question? Okay. If not, let's have a roll call.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. Going to the business items, we have several public hearings having to do with the Salt Lick Golf Course project. So at this time, I will open a public hearing up for the purpose of proposed issuance of taxable industrial revenue bonds. Randy or
Just open to see if there's any public discussion, any comments.
okay.
And this is, Commissioners, this is the first, I think, of 3 public hearings.
Yes. And we have several parts to each public hearing, so if there's no public comments or questions from the commission, I would entertain a motion to approve the job performance development agreement between Reno County and Takako that requires, excuse me,
Mr.
that's a
Chairman.
different project, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, we need to,
Close
once
the
you
hearing.
open it, you need to close the hearing and then proceed.
I got the wrong page marked. Sorry about that, gentlemen. So at this time, seeing no further comments, we'll close the hearing. On the consideration of the industrial revenue bonds for Salt Lick. Give me a minute to think I can get to the right page.
Commissioner, the next one is the resolution 2026-20. That's amending and restating 2026-11.
Let's take care of this motion first. I think.
We're still on the.
You close the public hearing, right?
Yeah, public hearing and then
The next step is the resolution.
Yeah. So help me if I get this wrong, all right? Consider resolution 2026-20, amending and restating resolution number 2026-11, which determined the advisability of issuing taxable industrial revenue bonds for the purpose of financing the acquisition, construction, furnishing, and equipping of a destination golf course and other commercial facilities to be located in the county, and authorizing execution of related documents.
This is totally different from the star bonds, correct?
Yes, this is the
Yes.
IRB, and this is amending a previous resolution.
We passed an amendment, an earlier resolution regarding the advisability of the funds. So this
We're amended it from what to what?
This, I believe, and Kevin, do you? Yeah. Kevin's our bond counsel.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Cowan with Gilmore and Bell. The amendment, the restatement really relates to the property tax abatement on the facilities, which we've discussed is sort of hold harmless, but all of the incremental, the new improvements will be exempt from ad valorem taxes. And when the original intent resolution was adopted, that was primarily, it was done quickly so that project exemption certificate could be applied for sales tax purposes because the project was starting. This couldn't happen that quickly. We would have addressed it all at once, but it required a public hearing, a cost benefit analysis to be prepared. So all of that has been addressed, notice given of the hearing, you had the hearing. And so that is the only thing that has changed in terms of amending and restating the resolution, is you've added that property tax abatement component because you've complied with the statutory requirements.
And the property tax abatement is what?
Abating any new value on the property. So with the new project, they won't be paying property taxes to the county.
For how long?
For 10 years.
10 years.
None at all.
Right, but we'll still get what we get
Yeah.
today with nothing being done on that land.
It's an abatement of the new value.
It's incremental.
new values.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's
We'll
valued
still
at,
get the old
if it's
tax.
valued at $10,000 today, we get that.
Yes.
If it's for 10 years,
Yes.
and then their whatever their valuation comes in after that is what it goes on the tax roll for.
Yes.
I believe this was done, Kevin, help me if I'm wrong, but this was done so the state could start their process.
The original resolution
Yes,
was.
original
Yes.
resolution.
And again, this has been moving pretty quickly, and that allowed some things to happen sooner than the notice of hearing and the cost benefit analysis could be addressed. So we split it into two pieces so it could move quickly early, but knowing we were going to have hearings on June 24th, and so we aligned that so we can take care of this piece of the industrial revenue bonds.
So we're voting now to approve 100% tax abatement for 10 years.
On the increased
The
valuation.
increased value.
You've already kind of approved that and set the public hearing. Today was a public hearing, and now it's finalizing
Yeah.
the action that you've already preliminarily
But I
gone through.
thought on the other hearing that it was said that the amount of property tax abatement could be set by the commission, right? I mean, I thought that's the question I asked.
For general abatements, you can. This one has been discussed with the finances always being at 100% abatement. So this one that was always the intent when we talked about it previously. So
Yeah, what
if
about
I
what's
didn't
the
answer
general-
it correctly or clarify your question earlier, I apologize. Yeah, this was always the intent, was 100% of the new taxes.
And this is a piece, and I know there have been discussions of all the new taxes, whether it's sales taxes for star bond purposes that are generated from the new facilities, or transient guest taxes. Once we get there, that's next step after today, but also ad valorem taxes. So all of the new activity that's generating a new revenue stream, you're pledging or making available for project purposes. But again, you sort of freeze what's there. There will still be taxes paid or a payment in lieu of taxes equal to what's there now. It's just anything new the discussion has been, yes, this is generating new taxes and we'll make those available for some period of time to incentivize the project.
Okay, now this other part that you talked about, is that coming up, the general property tax abatement? That's not attached to this bond?
It is in this resolution.
Yeah.
There's a paragraph that approves the ad valorem tax
See,
abatement.
that's where I'm confused at, because I was under the impression when we talked about this, that we would set the percentage. If we wanted to give 100%, we give 100%. Or if we wanted to give 10%, we give 10%. I didn't think that was set at that time, is the way I remember hearing it.
The transient. I think maybe that was concerning the transient guest tax
No,
percentage.
I remember that. Because that we had to ask for, we could set the amount on that. I'm talking about property tax. So if we approve this here, we're giving them a 100% property tax abatement above what it is now for 10 years.
That's correct.
The one tax that cannot be abated by statute is the school district capital outlay levy. So it's 100% abatement on new taxes being generated, except the school district's capital outlay levy is protected by law.
So the school, JUCO will still get their money,
Just the school district.
not the junior college.
And they were all notified, sent notice of this 100% tax abatement.
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused about it, because I remembered, and I listened to it, that we had the option of setting the amount of tax abatement that we could we would give, and I don't see that happening. It's already done. Is what I'm being told.
Yeah, for this one, I don't know that we ever talked about different percentages. This was always assumed the 100% to make the financial modeling work for the project.
I wasn't assuming anything. I mean, but being as that was said, that's why wasn't anything said then. But basically, you pretty much tell me that this is already done, no matter what I thought I heard.
Well, it's, we'll still get the taxes
Sure.
on
Yeah.
the present
The property
value.
has it sits now.
Yes.
Mhm. But I'm just kind of concerned about giving 100% because, everybody else is still paying property tax. I mean, that's a break would be fine, but we're not a rich county. That's
Since we're still getting what we already are getting,
Uh-huh.
we're not losing. That's kind of the intent of
Yeah.
them paying what is owed right now for the next 10 years. So if the project goes forward, which we assume it will, then we wouldn't get the money if it didn't go forward. If it goes forward, we don't get the additional taxes for 10 years, but we get all the other benefits of a new project coming into Reno County. It's just the 10 years, we won't have the property tax. After that 10 years, it'll be up and running with all three phases, and then we'll start getting additional taxes. But we're not losing anything right now.
Well, no, and we're not. I mean, if I build onto my house, I'm going to start paying additional taxes next year. I mean, that's another way for people to look at it.
Unless you qualify for the NRP, because we do allow that for residentials too in all areas of Reno County. So there are other tax breaks that residential and other commercial industries also have access
We've
to.
already gave tax break by no 1% sales tax on the project, right?
Part of the STAR bond
Right.
is all the sales tax of the county, the state will go toward the financing of whatever bond amount.
Still money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's quite a bit. And then I imagine they will they get up and running. You know, will they fit our criteria for hire new employees? Just like say Superior and Tico, other companies have.
That would be a different agreement.
Sure, I mean, but they'd be able to come after.
They would qualify.
Sure.
Yes.
So I just my feeling is I don't know how much we can afford to give. I mean that's what I'm looking at. But if it's done, that's why I waited till this time to bring it up, because I did not think it was set.
And Commissioner, for clarification, it's not really giving them the money, it's just not receiving additional money.
Money's
So-
money. I mean, that's.
But if the project doesn't go forward, we don't get it either way, so.
Sure. It looks like it's gonna go forward. I mean, I'm not debating that a bit, yeah.
I would just clarify.
Yeah, as far as individuals within the county, residences within the county, you just briefly mentioned it, Randy, that we have an abatement policy back on increased valuation for residences within the county. That we give a rebate back for, they pay the taxes
Yeah.
and then get a rebate back on those for a period of years, a certain percent. So,
This don't work like that. This is giving up, they don't pay it, then to get it back. Over a period of time, they get it for a period of time. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, it's not, it's not dished out the same, it's not. I mean,
It's not identical,
yeah,
it's just
not
a different
identical.
incentive.
Yeah.
This is a different
I
incentive
mean,
than
it's
the
kind of
NRP.
Yeah, poor comparison, I feel, for that, but,
Well, my house is not worth a few $1 million. And I understand that they're building, they're trying to have a project in this community that's going to be a benefit to the community through hiring of people to work it. And I understand, people say, well, you're giving them a tax break. Well, yeah, for 10 years. But then after 10 years, if they're going strong, the taxes coming in are going to be a pretty good boom. So, but you have to get started somehow. And they're using quite a bit of their own money right now to get everything started. So to me, it's an incentive. I actually used the NRP when we bought our house to get siding, windows, and other updates on our house. And yeah, I paid my taxes, and at the end of the year, though, I got a check back. And it was a decent check. So did I get it up front? No. That would have been nice, but it didn't happen. But this is a different entity altogether, a business. And I'm hoping that, we can encourage other businesses to come to town that want to build a factory or a business, a warehouse of some kind, and hire, 50 to 150 people. But they might want the same, benefit to start with, and it's just an encouragement to bring them here. So I don't have an issue with them having it for 10 years. I might not be here after 10 years to, benefit in the county, but my grandkids and kids will be. So, and I'm hoping it takes off like a rocket, and we have people from all over the world come here to play golf and enjoy our restaurants and other amenities that this community supplies.
yeah, I hope it does too, but again, it's all speculation. I mean, no matter how big the project is, it's still speculation. We're coming on a shortfall on our budget, just how much can we afford to give is what I'm getting at. How,
If we were giving them the money ahead of time.
Well,
We're just not getting any.
well, getting it's dollars are dollars. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. We need revenue, and we do, but it's done, I guess. So.
May I make a quick comment, gentlemen, Chair and Commissioner? I appreciate it. I appreciate the commentary up here, and I think it's all very valid. One thing I do want to point out is the statute requires a cost-benefit analysis, as was referenced. That was prepared by the Department of Commerce, as well as Department of Commerce hired an independent consultant to do a feasibility study based upon the economic impact of the project at this level of property tax abatement and in consideration of the STAR bonds. The economic impact to the county was exponential beyond most other projects, if not all the projects I've seen in my quite long career. So the impact of the spending from the project that will come both directly and indirectly from construction and then thereafter, the metrics played out to point towards budget gains for the county and the other taxing jurisdictions through implementation of this project. So as was mentioned, we're holding the taxes harmless that are coming today to the county, and then going forward, even though this project in particular, to make the modeling work to actually complete the project, is needing what we've asked for, and we've asked for only what we needed to make the modeling work, which we've worked through with staff and through our cost benefit analysis. the impact of the project economically to the area will be a gain overall to the county and the other taxing jurisdictions. So to the extent we have that cost benefit analysis, that might be interesting and helpful to see. Commissioner, would appreciate your support, but just wanted to say it's not just our lip service. That has been studied independently by the Department of Commerce, and as well as in the feasibility study by their independent consultant, and those may be helpful documents. I believe we've referenced them in past hearings, but I wanted to bring that back up again. Thank you.
All right, at this time, if there are no further questions or comments, I would entertain a move to approve the resolution 2026-20, amending and restating resolution number 2026-11.
I will make that motion.
Second it.
Moved to and seconded to approve resolution 2026-20. Any further questions, comments, thoughts? Okay. If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent, Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. Okay, at the present time, I believe, let's see. Open the public hearing. Presentation first, all right. This time we'll ask Salt Lake representative to come up and give a presentation on the whole project.
Well, I could have stayed up here, I guess, but Chair and Commissioners, I appreciate you having us here today. Bob Johnson, representative of Salt Lake LLC, the developer of the project. Principals here today with us, Jim Klossman, Brett Klossman. Our architecture team, Todd Clark and Brent Hugo are also here with us today, as are a number of the local contractors that are working on the project. To the extent you want to hear from any of them, they can come up and speak. But I'll be the one that'll kind of go back through the project here today just for a few minutes, because we've had a series of meetings now. I don't want to go back over and retread ground out of respect for your time and the public's time. To the extent there's anything that you do want me to readdress or that I haven't addressed to this point, please ask me. I'd be happy to address any points on the project or any aspects of the items that we're here today to consider. But just as a reminder, this is a three-phase project on about 630 acres east of the city of Hutchinson, within your county here, obviously, and nearby the Prairie Dunes Country Club. We benefit also by being in that unique topography of those sand dunes, and that's what gives us the opportunity to create a link-style course, which is the basis of destination golf today. We've talked about it a number of times, but that's the vision of this team here, this highly professional and seasoned golf design and operations team, in concert also with a gentleman named Ron Witten, who's not here today, but has been involved in the Erin Hills project and others that fit the bill for what we're trying to achieve here, that also don't exist in the state of Kansas. So this is something that we have a unique opportunity, because we don't have this in our state, but also have the topography that you just can't recreate. Even in states that have more tourism today, they don't have this topography, this type of conditions, this type of soils that allows us to create this dunes type course that is what attracts the destination golfers, as Commissioner said, from all over the world. The vision is three phases. Starting now, everybody knows that Jim has taken a risk as we've moved forward in this process, as we've gained confidence, as we have moved forward in this true public-private partnership to create something special, to spend his own equity here on the front end to achieve opening in 2027, as we've said before. Remains the goal. Jim has taken that risk, to move forward as we move forward in this process to make sure that that vision becomes a reality. The first course is the Salt Lick Dunes. It's an 18-hole championship course. Again, built into that dunes topography creates the link style of play. It would be a very fun, creative style of play. If anyone's played these types of courses before, they know that it creates some unique shot opportunities, some abilities to, if you hit a bad shot, to get out of it, and really have a creative approach to the game that is not, that is unique to links style golf. In the first phase as well, as we move forward, the course will come first. Some of the lodging is likely to come as right on the heels of completing the course, and then the clubhouse, just the build time on the clubhouse, that'll come as kind of the closeout of the first phase. I'll mention also we'll have some facilities in connection with the first phase, with the putting course, the practice range, the practice facilities. Those things will all be completed so that as the first phase gets completed, we'll have a fully rounded out project. We'll have the golf, we'll have the practice, we'll have the lodging, and the clubhouse with the dining, food and beverage component, all as part of that first phase. We think that that's important and essential with regard to the destination. Goal of the project is to have all of those components in the first phase so that when people come to visit, they have a place to stay, they have a place to eat, as well as play golf. In the second phase, which we anticipate will commence contemporaneous with stabilization of the first phase, would be the second 18-hole course. That's the Prairie course. Also the 9-hole course, which will be additive in many of these destination courses, has proved to be an amenity, which is essential to capturing longer stays, 2, 3, 4 night stays. People have opportunity to play multiple courses when they're there. Very important, and that's very much a distinction, not by any means to diminish courses that have or golf clubs that have one course, but for your destination where people come and stay, it's important to have multiple courses so that you capture people's time and attention there for multiple days. So again, just to kind of drive home the point that this team has thought long and hard for quite a long stretch now, since Jim has owned the land since 2023, to envision this, to plan this, and now to bring it into reality. Phase 3 will be rounding out the lodging. So proving out the first 2 phases with the golf, stabilizing those golf operations, stabilizing the lodging that exists, including ramping up the clubhouse food and beverage operations, and then finishing out the lodging when we think that true demand will surge several years into the project. All of that tailoring towards looking forward to when the national golf media will be here for the Prairie Dunes tournament, so that by that time, Salt Lick is on the map. We are complete. We have offerings that we hope get written about nationally and internationally in the golf media at that time. We have the fortunate circumstance to already have, with Prairie Dunes, focused upon this area internationally for golf. This is only going to enhance that. This is going to be that level of quality, but open to the public. So we think very complementary with the Prairie Dunes. Anyone will have an opportunity to make a tee time, and in the handful of other projects like this in the country, you see those tee times selling out in a day or less. And so we think that demand is there. Again, this is the only offering in Kansas like this, so we for very good studied reasons, believe that demand is here in this market. We're also, in fact, we were talking about it before the hearing today, fortunate to have a site that is 35, 40 minutes from an airport in Wichita, 5-7 minutes from an airport here, but will still feel like you are out, set, away from anything, so that you have the opportunity to truly relax and feel like you're taking a break from wherever you might be coming from and coming to enjoy the beautiful natural setting that we have here. Some depictions of that here. I think we've shown most of these renderings, if not all of them, in previous hearings, but just as a reminder, again, building into the natural topography, making use of those dunes that we have, making use of the prairie grasses that we have. Here's a rendering of the clubhouse, again, kind of a modern rustic feel, very much in keeping with the color scheme and the feel for the area. Just to go back briefly over where we've been and where we're headed today, this body has established the Starbond District, which was setting a geographic boundary only encompassing our property, which also set the base sales taxes, which today are zero, as you know. We have also passed the charter ordinance for the transient guest tax. The Commissioner was referring to that earlier, that allows you to implement going forward transient guest tax up to 10%. That can be done. Well, this would be, I think, a matter of future discussion, but for our project that is the transient guest tax just for our site, we are looking for that maximum amount. How you implement that the rest of the county is, of course, your prerogative, but that charter ordinance, which was the first step in moving forward with implementing that transient guest tax, you approved that previously. Where we are today then is the public hearing for the Starbond project plans, the one that we just had with regard to the IRBs, the public hearing for the community improvement districts. Starbond project plans, community improvement districts are only our project. Those are encompassing only areas within our project and relate to the financing of this project itself. So those don't extend into areas beyond the 620, 630 acres into other areas of the county. Just to make that point of clarification. And then that also enables us to complete our development agreement with your staff. Again, some renderings of different golf holes here on the project. You'll see kind of the utilizing that sandy soil, utilizing the dunes topography to add not only natural aesthetic, but components of the golf play itself. That was brief. I don't want to be unnecessarily brief if there are things that you'd like me to go back and go back over. But again, we've had a series of meetings here and don't want to belabor anything either that you don't want to talk about. So I stand for any questions. I certainly can come up during any of the public hearings as well. And I'd appreciate if there are comments that are best to address in the public hearings, that I have an opportunity to come up after that to do so as well with you. I just want to give as much opportunity for discussion as you'd like, but also sit down if you would like me to do so at this point as well. Thank you,
Mr. Johnson. Yeah, it's good we have this discussion here.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
When was this planned to be done? Each phase is to be done, I think you said phase 1 in 27?
That's right. Well, the golf course, we believe in 27. We think it'll go into 28 for the clubhouse itself. So it'll be kind of mid to fall 27 for completion of the golf course, totally dependent upon grass growing conditions. So we'll know a lot more coming out of winter as to how that grass is growing, and so when it will be fully ready to open. Then we will continue just with the clubhouse build time. It'll go into 28 to complete the golf clubhouse. Depending upon how the performance of the first golf course goes in 27 into 28, that will determine when the second 18-hole golf course commences. It could very likely be 28 that it commences, and it could complete later that year. Again, highly dependent upon the market conditions and the performance of that first golf course. But I would think of it this way: staggering a year and a half between each phase, essentially. So as those stabilize, we're not looking to wait 5 years to commence the next phase. This project will perform its best once we complete all 3 phases, but we also don't want to rush it and overflood the market if it's not creating the demand right out of the gate. So you create the demand out of the first phase, you make sure you have the sufficient play, you make sure you're filling the room nights out of your first lodging that you've created, just in a smart business planning way as you would any business. And once that phase is stabilized, again, hopefully in 2028, they can commence that second phase. And then that would be the same cadence with finishing out the lodging, hopefully the next year or into 2030. So year and a half, I would say, is the game plan to complete all 3 phases.
So you phase 1 and see how well that goes before you go to phase 2?
Absolutely. Just for smart planning, but yes.
What if things don't what if things don't go as good as you plan, and do we postpone phase two, time-wise, or?
We would take the time that's needed to smartly do phase two. I guess the point about relating back to the incentives, I would say, is that the incentives, we don't go issue bonds until, bondholders won't buy bonds until a phase is ready to be completed or ready to go. So there's no incentives that kick in for later phases until those phases are commenced and then going to be completed. So we will just do this in a smart business planning way so that this is a long-term project that succeeds for the county. What succeeds for the county succeeds for us. We are aligned completely there. So best case, every year we're adding a phase. The next 3-4 years, it's all done. That's what this team wants to happen. But they won't do that if that's not the smart thing to do. So it's not a perfect answer. I can't tell you exactly, but that's the plan, is that every year there's another year and a half, there's another phase added to the project.
And the first phase, you want that done before the golf tournament comes to Prairie Dunes, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If there's more questions, when we can get to we'll open the public hearing to consider the Salt Lick Star Bond Project Plan 1. And this also will include Salt Lick Star Bond Project 2 and Salt Lick Star Bond Project Plan 3. We'll take each one of them at a time. So we'll start with open public hearing on the discussion regarding Salt Lick Star Bond Project Plan 1. Any comments? Any questions on Plan 1? Okay. Seeing no further discussion, no further questions, I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-21.
Commissioner, you still have the public hearing. You still have the public hearing open. So after each plan, go to the next one before you close it, and then we'll go into the resolutions.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on closing it. I was just, yeah. So you want to discuss, you prefer to discuss all three of them before we do the motion with any of them?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
That'll work better.
All right. All right. We'll entertain a discussion regarding Salt Lick Star Bond Project Plan 2. I think some of us at the KCCA heard a discussion about how the Star Bonds came about, and it was very, very good. All right, so we'll go to item number 3. Is there any discussion regarding Salt Lick Star Bond Project Plan 3? We'll end the discussion on Plan 2. Hearing none, I'll declare the hearing on Salt Lick Star Bond Project 1 through 3. Close the hearing on that. All right. Next item on the agenda is consider adopting Resolution 2026-21, which is adopting Salt Lick Star Bond Project Plan 1. Is there a motion to?
I'll make that motion for 2026-21 to approve that.
All right. Do
I'll
I hear a
second.
second? Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 2026-21, adopting the Star Lick Star Bond Project Plan 1. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. We'll consider a motion to approve Resolution 2026-23. Oh. 2026-22, adopting Salt Lake Star Bond Project Plan 2.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, consider Resolution 2026-22, adopting the Salt Lake Star Bond Project Plan 2. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. Next item is consider Resolution 2026-23, adopting the Salt Lake Star Bond Project Plan 3.
I'll make that motion.
Second? I'll second the motion. Any questions regarding that? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. I hope I didn't add too much confusion to this at all, because it's a complete process to get through. And appreciate the input from Mr. Johnson and Kevin. Thank you. As well as the Salt Lick. You may have to help me out a little bit on this, is consider adoption of 2026-24. We done?
Commissioner, you need to open another public hearing for the creation of the proposed community improvement district
Oh, that,
for the
okay.
3 phases, or 3 phases.
Okay, we will open now for a public hearing regarding the creation of the proposed community improvement district for Salt Lake Phase 1, Salt Lake Phase 2, and Salt Lake Phase 3. This is what they call a CID, Community Improvement District, correct? We'll open that public hearing. We'll have a discussion regarding Salt Lake Phase 1, regarding a proposed community improvement district. Any comments, any talk?
These CIDs, they're basically just taxes that they can charge in that district, correct?
Yes, it's only for that district.
Only for that
It's
district.
an extra 2%, I believe, is
Yeah.
on the sales tax.
And that's, it goes totally to that project?
Yes.
And does that sales tax go on even after the bonds are paid?
I don't believe so, but Kevin will.
So a couple of things, good questions. I did want to point out that these sales taxes will be implemented in the future as the phases are completed at the direction of the developer. So as phases are being completed and would actually generate the sales tax, that's when these will be implemented. They're 22-year sales taxes, and these are not pledged to the payment of the bond, so a little bit of a disconnect there for reimbursing the developer on its eligible costs. So it's going to be close in terms of when are bonds retired and when will the CID taxes peel off on each of the phases. But again, a little bit of a disconnect. There'll be 22 years from their commencement, and as was discussed earlier, phase 1, maybe next year is when that tax would be implemented. Phase 2, maybe a couple of years. So kind of 22 years along those same timelines in each of those areas.
For each phase?
Yes.
And then after 22 years from that implement on that phase, and then that tax goes off, or,
Correct.
and then that's go back to the developer for
Yeah.
his
Right.
investment.
We call it pay-as-you-go. So the developer will certify eligible costs to the county, and then over the 22 years, to the extent there are eligible costs, and there will be, I mean, there are a lot of dollars spent on this project, those collections will just reimburse the developer for those eligible costs.
Any more questions, discussions regarding the Community Improvement District for Salt Lick Phase 1? Okay, I'll end the discussion regarding Phase 1 at this time. Open it up for discussion regarding Salt Lick Phase 2 on the Community Improvement District. Hearing none, we'll end the discussion on the Phase 2. Is there any discussion regarding Salt Lick Phase 3 with regard to the Community Improvement District? I'm glad, Commissioner, Ron, you brought up the fact that it only affects that
Yeah.
property.
It'd be the same question for different phases, is what I'm, so, no, I see the purpose of it.
You bet. I think that's a good point that needs to be brought out. Thank you. You bet. All right, so hearing no more discussion, we'll end discussion on Salt Lick Phase 3. And at this point in time, I'll close the hearing regarding the creation of a proposed community improvement district for Salt Lick Phase 1, 2, and 3. Now I get to go to this one, right? Consider adoption of Resolution 2026-24, establishing the Salt Lick Phase 1 Community Improvement District.
I'll make the motion to approve that. Motion.
Okay, been moved to approve
I'll second it.
and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. Now we have two more resolutions, but one of them is consider adoption of Resolution 2026-25, establishing the Salt Lick Phase 2 Community Improvement District.
I'll make that resolution.
I'll second.
Get moved and seconded to approve 2026-25. We had discussion on this before, so roll call.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. And the final one is consider adoption of Resolution 2026-26, establishing the Salt Lick Phase 3 Community Improvement District. Entertain a motion to consider the adoption of that resolution.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Been moved and seconded to approve the adoption of Resolution 2026-26. We discussed this on earlier. Is there any more discussion? If not, why? We'll take a roll call.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. Well, that's it. thought I had one more item on here.
We have other, that's the end of the Salt Lake.
And Salt Lake, yes. Appreciate your interest in Reno County. Thank you. You're going to just go to annual report.
That's the next item on the agenda.
Okay.
If,
All right.
I think Ron's here. Yes. He's hiding from.
Yeah, Ron, I believe you're up now then with the automotive annual report.
Good morning, everyone. Annual report, you got the summary there. We completed a first year of our internship. That first student that we had, he now has a full-time job with Midwest Superstore. His last day was May 15th. We've got another student that started on May 18th. So we're going to do another year of this. Hopefully, we're going to work with, once the budget items settle down things, Randy and I and HCC are going to sit down and try and see if we can make this a accredited or registered program, is what HCC is asking us to do. We'll see what their requirements are on our end of it, see if that's something we can do. But we had great success. It worked out for us really well, having a third person in the shop, half days. So that went really well. So replacement cost of vehicles and parts are continually rising from year to year. We've just started, Sheriff's Department, we're doing some technology upgrades for them. Started about a month and a half, 2 months ago, installing a different cellular reception device, Cradle Point. That had to be installed prior to them receiving their new camera systems. We just received their new camera systems for the patrol units about 2 weeks ago. We should be finished with the first one today. Motorola was on scene yesterday to roll out the deployment, get the data we needed to activate the cars. They was also over here and at the jail to get their body cameras up and rolling. So that's pretty much what we've had going on. With all the technology, we are extremely busy right now trying to get these cameras rolling out. Next week, my full-time tech is going to Texas to Motorola for a week's training to get certified on these. Being it's a completely new system, I haven't been involved with it other than just what we've been working the first week with getting them the first one installed. So on the data sheet that I provided for kind of in addition to previous years, what's highlighted in the gold was departmental costs for both fuel and maintenance costs. Maintenance for the Sheriff's Department did go up. If you break it out over all of their vehicles, it went up about $400 a vehicle. But there again, a lot of that is due to rising parts costs. They did have a few large items that happened that was outside the warranty period of the vehicle, and some of that is due to running the vehicles outside of what we previously had done for the years of the vehicles being in service. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was a little bit more. Other departments, their fuel costs have went down, and their maintenance costs have dropped a little bit. So kind of in summary, do you guys have any questions for me?
I don't have any. I think it's very complete.
The only thing I didn't
Rundown.
provide this year versus last year was, I believe last year I provided you a departmental per vehicle fuel usage. That was kind of a lot of data, so I just kept it in the summary rather than loading heavy with documents. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'll field them. If not, if you ever have any questions, reach out to Randy or myself and we'll see if we can get them answered for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Next up is Sheriff Campbell for your annual report.
Yeah, good morning. Darren Campbell, the Reno County Sheriff. First off, I apologize. I know my annual report's usually due in April. due to being extremely busy and ongoing projects and stuff. It's been pushed. So most of the stuff that I'm talking about is from April to March of this year. There might be a few instances where it's just rolled up in 2025. So first off, I want to go into the Reno County Sheriff's Office mission is to ensure the highest level of public safety while protecting the rights and dignity of those we serve through community partnerships and unbiased enforcement of the law. As far as staffing, the Reno County Sheriff's Office is staffed at 101 personnel. There's 85 full-time deputies, 12 civilian support staff, and 4 part-time offender registry personnel. The administration of the Sheriff's Office consists of the Under Sheriff Sean McKaylee, Captain of the Detective Division Sean McClay, Captain of the Patrol Division Steve Lutz, and Captain of the Jail Division Levi Blumenhurst. The most recent year included 120 applicants for vacant jail deputy positions. Of those 120 applicants, we were only able to hire 10 of them, and 8 are remaining in our employment. Our applicant process is time-consuming, but it's important that we make sure that we maintain the highest standards within our agency. We're still hiring additional deputies, with several in the testing and background process currently. And the Reno County Correctional Facility medical area also saw 2 new nurses hired during this period. And both are performing at a high level to keep our jail population healthy. The sheriff is ultimately responsible for maintaining the county jail, civil process, offender registration, concealed permit processing, and preserving the peace, just to name a few. That's operating with a broad brush. We operate with a $9.7 million budget, and we're currently 3% under that as far as the calendar year. The correctional facility in the last year, the Reno County Correctional Facility passed the 10-year anniversary of its opening of August 2015. During the past year, our inmate counts rose briefly to a level of what we couldn't house ourselves. And we're forced to house inmates for a short period in another county. We actually farmed out 20 inmates to Rice County during the fair. That left a little bit of room so we could not have to do it in the middle of the fair. That population was slowly reduced over time, and with all inmates returning to our own facility within the same month that the fair occurred. Several projects have been started or are ongoing during the most recent year. The most notable is our Gallagher security electronics upgrade and the Fountain Hall upgrade. Our Gallagher system upgrade started in 2024 and is continuing in the final phases as we work on integrating our original jail intercom system into our new security electronics. This was a program that we put on hold till we found a company that could integrate our analog intercoms with our new system. That's been a rough go. It still isn't complete, and there's some programming that we had Gallagher come in to look at and see if they could fix at the time. Again, this has been a time-consuming while we wait on the vendor to complete some programming. And the training room upgrade allows us more flexibility while training our own deputies in-house and also bring classes or other groups to Reno County. These projects have been in collaboration with our IT and our maintenance department, and they've been phenomenal in helping us be successful in what we asked them to do, and will hopefully be completed during the next year. In 2024, we joined the Reno County Health Department and the Horizons Mental Health Center in a grant to support medical assisted treatment, or otherwise known as MAT, inside the Reno County Correctional Facility. Inmates who have been diagnosed with substance use disorder can take part in the MAT program. In early 2026, we were able to transition this program to an injectable medication that's proven to be less labor intensive for deputies and medical staff, while also reducing opportunity for diversion of the medication with other methods. What that means is that our first program, we were medicating with a sublingual, which that we had to set and wait, and for it to dissolve before we went back to the cell. We encountered a lot of issues throughout the time we was doing that, so we went to an injectable, which makes it, like it says, less labor intensive. In 2022, Congress passed an act called the Martha Wright Reed Communications Act. This law changes the way the communication companies charge inmates for phone calls and video visits while in custody. The act also removes the ability for jails to receive a commission for the phone calls and video visits. This is yet to be seen what the total impact will have on the commissary account that is used to purchase items that benefit inmates in custody. as well as pay the salary of the programs directors employed at the facility. However, we're monitoring this closely and internally to make sure that we don't go upside down on that or try to extinguish it. The jail is currently wrapping up a month-long test and evaluation process for the body-worn cameras that the agency will be switching to shortly. This will be a significant upgrade to our current body cameras and will allow each deputy working in the facility to have a camera to document incidents that are more clearly and which will protect staff and inmates. Unfortunately, we did have one death in the facility during this year. On June 24, 2025, a male inmate was found in a cell by deputies completing rounds at night. After an investigation completed by the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, which is required by state law, it was determined that this was a medical issue. After an incident like this, we try to check on both the deputies and the inmates that were involved in the incident and make sure their well-being and that they're being taken care of. Because the facility is on the outskirts of the city limits, our transport team has stayed very busy. The team has 3 SUVs and a van for mass transport. For the year of March 2025 through April 2026, these 4 deputies made combined trips to Lawrence State Hospital, one of over 10 KDOC prisons across the state, Horizons, mental health, and medical appointments, and transporting them across town to our courthouse. There was 998 transports for the total number of 2,543 inmates transported for a total of 38,207 miles driven within the state. The patrol division consists of civil process, courthouse security, reserves, cadets, and of course patrol. Special units would consist of the special response team, honor guard, drone team, town liaisons, K9, and senior patrol. For a deputy to be allowed to patrol by themselves, they must attend a 14-week training at the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, which upon graduation go through a 2-week in-service training on protocols and policies by various agency instructors. These deputies then go under another 14 weeks of field training. During these 14 weeks, they progress from being told every move by their training officer to conducting business on their own and handling calls. They are monitored closely, and a daily observation report is made each day to discuss positive interactions and negative interactions. The training is evaluated by the field training director and the patrol captain. Remedial training may be necessary, and if the deputy is not meeting standards, they may go back to operating in the jail or be terminated. The county consists of 1,257 square miles, which is broken down into 3 beats. Each beat has a patrol deputy assigned to respond to calls for service within their assigned beat. There can be a traffic unit available to respond to motor vehicle accidents, cattle on the roadway calls, or other types of vehicle-related calls for service. Typically, there's a supervisor who will respond to a specific call for backup and provide guidance and direction on how a deputy responds, investigates, and approves paperwork to be sent for further investigation or prosecution, just to name a few of their duties. The case reports that are made will be sent to the detective division to determine if the further investigation is necessary. During the time period from April 1st of 2025 through March 31st, 2026, there were a total of 13,493 calls, either dispatched or officer initiated. 4,147 of those were traffic stops initiated by a deputy. The civil process section has been very busy. They average approximately 800 papers a month. And this does not include the revisits of people not home on certain papers and the lengthy conversations that citizens often engage with them on trying to learn to do with the papers once they've been served them. These deputies perform around 17 evictions a month, and that usually it takes 1 civilian process server and 2 uniformed deputies to get this done safely and effectively. The civil process office still provides VIN inspections for the public. On an average, they perform approximately 105 vehicle inspections a month. This is the second year the sheriff's office has provided courthouse security, and it consists of 2 deputies, which their primary job was that of a jail deputy, and a patrol deputy, which is not new to the duty, to oversee all security of the courthouse. We've had great success with moving jail deputies in and out of this position. Several have held the positions, enjoy opportunities, and seem further motivated in the workings of the agency. The detective division is a plainclothes division which consists of 8 sergeants, 4 deputies, 2 full-time civilian employees, and 4 part-time offender registration clerks. The division is currently fully staffed. Detective Sergeant Corey Graber recently retired from the position of the Criminal Interdiction Unit Supervisor. His replacement is Detective Sergeant Eric Lutz, and he's been promoted from patrol deputy to detective sergeant. and is in place and actually doing the job very well. The following is a list of responsibilities, not all inclusive of what the division handles. Any felony arrest warrant service, case investigations, crime analysis, drug enforcement investigation, forensic computer analysis, fugitive extradition, juvenile matters, offender registration, concealed carry permits, service support, and applicant background investigations. Detectives are also responsible for overseeing the Crime Stoppers of Reno County, hostage negotiations, and various additional duties. They receive cases made by patrol, assigned to them by their captain for follow-up. Investigation based on the ability to create and continue leads until the case is solved or closed for lack of leads. Over the last year, 217 cases were assigned to the division for follow-up. These cases resulted in 59 cases submitted for prosecution, 43 search warrants obtained, 60 cell phones examined, and approximately $40,000 worth of property recovered for victims. In 2025, Attorney General Kobach's office offered a grant, and we applied for and got $25,000 for technology and equipment, which we received. Now, 2 detectives have equipment to better suit the downloading of cell phone devices for investigative purposes. These are used in major cases such as child porn cases, solicitation of child cases, several drug crimes. This greatly enhances our investigation division with a certificate in forensics to support and improve the agency's capabilities in collection of evidence from electronic devices to better prosecute and convict suspected violations of crimes. Our juvenile detective has taken an additional role of working with being assigned tips by the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. This is part of a regional task force headquarters in Wichita that pushes the information to us. And this has led to several investigations of juvenile sex crimes in our county. The Registered Offender Office consists of 4 part-time civilians and 2 uniformed deputies. They oversee and update and monitor currently over 658 offenders required by the courts to register for drug offenses, sex offenses, and violent offenses within Reno County. They follow up and identify these offenders and remain in compliance with their court-ordered identifier. If offenders are identified as non-compliant, these 2 deputies will investigate and send a case up to the District Attorney's Office for prosecution. Over the last year, the Registered Offenders Office has submitted 18 cases to the District Attorney's Office for prosecution and non-compliant offenders. They completed over 139 spot checks on offenders and collected approximately $40,000 in registration fees. The Criminal Addiction Unit, formerly called the Drug Enforcement Unit, is composed of 1 detective sergeant, 2 patrolmen, and 1 Reno County crime analyst. The main objective of the Criminal Addiction Unit is the investigation of individuals, organizations involved in narcotic trafficking, and the seizure of assets required through narcotics trafficking, and the promotion of coordinated narcotics efforts among various law enforcement agencies within the county. This unit completed 23 search warrants. During the service of these search warrants, a total of 39 people were arrested for various drug crimes. The unit also seized $28,371 in property from various drug operations within our county. This unit makes a valuable impact on drug crimes in our community. During the last year, through state partnerships with the Adjutant General's Office and the Kansas National Guard, we've been assigned 1 Kansas National Guard counter-drug criminal analyst to work with the Criminal Addiction Unit. This collaboration gives us access to state and federal databases, deconfliction of targets, and other important information. This position does not cost the county any money and is funded through the state. I'm going to give a brief update on the new training facility we took possession of in January. This project began in 2021 and it's taken us almost 5 years to get to where we are in the process now. There's still a few minor projects that we have ongoing to fine-tune the facility for our employees, but from March 31st, 2025 through April 1st, 2026, we had 14 range days with 102 attendees, 2025 annual qualifications where we had 82 deputies qualified over 4 days. Agency improved by 0.5% over the previous year. We had 2 40-hour basic handgun courses, 2 24-hour basic rifle courses, and 2 8-hour new hire defensive tactics classes, as well as 2 12-hour SWAT trainings. The county took possession of the new training facility on January 16th, 2026, and was opened on February 1st. IT, facilities maintenance, and sheriff's office completed the installation of all the technology and outfitting for the building for use. As of June 19th, 2026, the county saved approximately $1.4 million by completing the work in-house instead of hiring contractors. And that's an estimate. The most recent example in the construction of a pavilion at the training complex generated approximately $21,000 in savings by completing it with the use of county labor. Outside law enforcement agencies who have attended training or utilized the complex include USD 309, South Hudson Police Department, Kansas Department of Corrections, Hudson Police Department, and the Hudson Fire Department. We currently have numerous training events on the schedule for 2026, and we're starting to schedule into 2027 already. That completes my summary. I know I've left out some stuff because the fantastic people that work for this agency do a myriad of duties for the community and for the people and inmates that are housed out there. So if you have any questions of me, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Questions? Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
Next item, which we've received some information on, is a discussion with possible action to be taken at the disposition options for the former fire station located at 208 North Burns in Turon. Adam?
Good morning, Commissioners. Adam Weishauer. With the completion of the Turon Fire Station earlier this year, we no longer have a need for the old fire station located at 208 North Burns in Turon. During the planning of this project, we talked about how there's significant cracks through the concrete and the roof was also leaking, making it very hard to maintain temperatures inside the building. In addition, the size of the structure no longer provides an adequate building for the fire district, and Fire District 1 has no use for the building. If the fire district were to remain in control of that property, our recommendation would likely to be to demolish the facility. However, we think it's better use of county funds to offer it to the public at a public sale. According to the county appraiser site, the property is valued at $2,270, and the building's valued at approximately $36,630. So in consultation with our county counselor, John Settle, we talked about KSA 19211, which gives the county the ability to dispose of the property when it's no longer in use. So that statute says, upon finding by the board that any property is no longer required or cannot prudently be used for public purposes of the county, the board, by unanimous vote, may sell or dispose of such property, the value of which does not exceed $50,000, by public or private sale or by negotiation, as determined by the board. Notice of the board's intent to sell or dispose of such property shall be published at least 2 times in the official county newspaper. Such notice shall include the time, place, and condition of such disposition. Fire District 1 wishes to remove the building from our insurance and eliminate the ongoing maintenance issues and utility expenses associated with the property. So what we want to discuss with the board today is what action the board would like to take to dispose of the property. A couple of the options are we can dispose of the property through a public sealed bid process, negotiate the sale of property with any interested parties, demolish the building, or keep the building in the current condition for future use. I will note that the city of Turon has contacted us and they were interested in leasing the building. However, we're wanting to sell the building. They may be interested in purchasing the property. And in addition, a private citizen has contacted us asking to purchase the building as well. So with that, I'll turn it to the board.
Well, my thought would be, and I asked about it when we vacated the building, there's ongoing expenses, and if we have no need for it, there's no need for us to have those expenses. We'd be better off with the cash or like you pointed out in your, so my thoughts have been running that way for a long time. I guess the point today would be, did I hear that right? A motion to dispose of the property, and then it would have to be unanimous among us.
Commissioners, I think you'd first also have to decide whether you're going to pick an individual or the city to sell it to, or put it in a sealed bid process. But yeah, it is a unanimous vote.
Okay. One of the criteria that the commission has to affirmatively include in the motion is that the property is no longer reasonably useful to the county. That's not exactly the wording of the statute, but the purpose is to determine that this is not a piece of property that the county can use efficiently.
I would like to see it go to a city entity, but I mean, I don't know what fair way to do that. And obviously, the appraised value and probably in that particular setting in that community is probably not legitimate. So it almost should be a sealed bid process, in my opinion, but they have a better chance of fixing that building and using it for something legitimately. And you walk through some of the small towns, and I'm just going to be honest, you see some blight that buildings are purchased and no longer used and sitting there, and I hate to see that happen to that building and just continue to be there if it's not usable in its condition. I'd rather somebody fix it up and use it, and if they have need of it, that would be where I'd lean toward. But I don't think the price is probably, I don't think you'll get that there, even the county appraised price. I know we run into that in some other small communities. I've talked to people that it just won't bring that, and so it'd be nice to have somebody have a use for it.
Well, I'd agree with that. It's not going to bring a lot of money, but it's the ongoing costs that are going to kill us.
I certainly would be for eliminating the property from the county.
And in my estimation, when you already have two people asking about two entities, one a government entity, one an individual, there are probably others out there. So I would lean toward the sealed bid process so that everybody that would be interested would have a chance. And through that process, we would probably get the best return on the building we have for sale, or would have for sale if we do these motions correctly.
What would be the fastest process? I'd say just to get out from underneath it as quickly as possible with, if the city wants it, the fear is that if someone buys it for a song and a dance, or are they going to let the capital, or get worse and the city Toronto will have to tear it down, or someone will be responsible for it, or what would be the quickest way to get out from underneath it?
I would say in that scenario, the city of Turon has a governing body that would take care of stuff within their city. It'd be out of our hands either way.
I think the first thing we need to do is to consider a motion that it's excess property that is not needed by the county.
That's correct, and the disposal of county property requires fairly specific processes to accomplish.
It has to be advertised so much.
It has to be advertised. If you look at the recommended motion, I included the language that would be helpful to include in that motion, and then if that motion passes, and it needs to be approved unanimously. If it passes unanimously, then the commission would consider the process to dispose of the property, and at that point you could follow the same language for the second motion and pick whatever process whoever makes the motion.
So we could make a motion that's excess property, and we move to dispose of it, and we include with that the method of disposal, or is that another motion?
Correct.
It looks like it's two motions is what you're asking for.
Two motions, and the second motion, you've got basically four options that I've listed first under all options, but the first motion is to determine that the property is worth less than $50,000 and that it's no longer basically useful to the county.
Well,
And then the second motion would be how to dispose of it.
I'd make that motion then that the board find that the fire station located at 208 North Burns Street in Turon is no longer required, cannot prudently be used for public purposes of the county, that the value of the property is less than $50,000, that the county administrator will be authorized to sell or otherwise dispose of the property by public or private sale by negotiation pursuant to the provisions in KSA 19-211-4.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. That the exits, go ahead, Don.
A question. I personally believe that the motion would work as, what happens if our determination proves to be wrong on the value and somebody gives more than that? Does it matter at that point?
Does not matter at that point.
Okay,
The
so we're not getting
determination-
in trouble if by some reason somebody,
Where are we gonna find the people
well, I don't know, but you never know. I've been around
Randy, you
long
need a
enough,
building in
things
Huron,
sneak up on you. So you ask the question.
And Dawn brings up a good point, because in sales lately of course, this is residential property, but I've been absolutely amazed at the pricing that there is above appraisal value, but this is different.
Yeah.
I will agree 100%. This is completely different.
Yes.
And so, okay. Did we get a second?
Yep.
Okay, all right, been moved and seconded, that it's not property no longer required, as Randy stated, Commissioner Park stated. Any further discussion? Not? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Bogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. So the question now is the proper way to disperse of this property, which is can be a multitude of ways, but one of them that we talked about is putting it up for sealed bids.
I'm game for that.
And Brandy, what do you
Yeah,
mentioned the Turon?
I think that, the best way council sees fit to keep us out of trouble. I mean, that'd be the direction that we need to head, I think.
Well, and the commission has basically four options. Dispose of it through a public sealed bid process, negotiate a sale directly with any interested party or parties, and if you want to do that, my recommendation would be that you would authorize Mr. Parkington to do that himself or delegate that responsibility. And the next one would be to demolish the building and sell the vacant lot. That's probably not a good way, because the county's going to spend more money just to
Do we have
demolish the
to,
building.
if we have Randy just negotiate a sale, do we have to go through the public notification still?
Yes, we have to.
So it
we
makes
have
no
to-
difference which way we go.
Yeah, the next thing we need to do, and it'll be part of this motion, is we have to give the public notice of how you're going to sell it.
Really
And
don't make no
if you're
difference.
going to have it negotiated, a negotiated sale with interested parties, you have to do that and include that information in the notice. If you're going to do it through a sealed bid, that would be included in the notice.
But
don't
if
think it
we,
makes any difference.
if we go toward the negotiated deal, at that point, can we say no to any bid? Should
Well-
it be so low that, or the sale has to take place at some negotiated price?
Well, if you ask for a sealed bid,
Right of refusal?
you might include right of refusal in the notice, but whatever process you're going to use, you need to include in. the
Yeah, but I
notice.
think one of the considerations, what's it cost to clear the lot and then hang on to it, and even if
Yeah.
you get a low bid, you're probably gonna be better off just let it go. So
Yeah.
it's gonna cost us more to clear it than a
That's
low
my,
bid.
You
that's
can-
my thought, yes.
Yeah,
That's just looking for the quickest way to get rid of it.
yeah, and basically, whatever the board determines is the best process that meets those three options. And if we have to make certain that we provide the notice that the board determines with regard to that process to the community.
I guess it's just, what do you guys think, sealed bid or negotiated prices, that's all we know.
Somebody make a motion.
I think sealed bid leaves anybody and everybody
Everybody
that
has a
might be
chance, city,
interested,
anybody.
because that'll be publicized and like the law says, and then, like you say, we know of, Adam knows of two right now, but who knows who else is out there.
We'll put that, true on, public newspaper.
Well, and the other side of it is somebody's going to have to do the negotiating and spend the hours to do that, and everybody's busy, so it's just really not a good fit that with you. I don't think to burden Mr. Partington or Adam with that, so.
Let's make a
And-
motion to sell it at public auction.
Yeah,
Your mic,
your mics are off.
she can't hear you.
Well, I would entertain,
Make a motion to,
I would entertain a motion then to,
I think he's doing that.
for disposing of the property by a sealed bid with proper notification given according to state statutes.
I would second that. Were you making the motion, or
I'll
were
let
you
know.
asking for the
I
motion?
was asking for it.
No, he was starting to make it down here.
yeah, let's make the motion to that effect. I make a motion to that effect.
Okay, there you go.
I make a motion
Want
to that
second it?
effect.
And I'll second it.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
Commissioner Winger,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogner,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes.
Can I have liberty just asking Adam one more question? As this topic came up in Nickerson, because I've had several people have interest in that building, are we going to maintain that one for any purpose?
So Nickerson's a little bit different scenario for us. So the property is actually on one large parcel of ground.
I know.
And that's what makes it very challenging, because the parking lot to the fire district is very close to the back of the building there. So we want to have the ability to control the neighbors a little bit more than what.
That's
we
kind of
could
what
do
I
in this
thought,
one.
but I know I've had some interest, and I figured you might want to do something. Yeah.
That's one we want to take up at a future date.
Yeah, that's
with,
fine. I just-
with the city in mind too. We want to include the city in that process as well as the commissioner.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me have a break. Let me have a short break.
I'm sorry.
Give me a short break here.
You want a short break now? Let's take a short 5-minute recess and we'll come back to finish up the meeting.
sure that it will be mentioned next week.
We'll walk out of here another week or so.
Next week. I think next Monday?
29th,
Yeah, whatever that is.
whatever it is.
27th is Saturday, 28th, yeah, 29th, Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they changed it from the regular to Monday because
yeah.
5 minutes.
You're on air, vote. I just didn't want you to.
Okay, we'll reconvene from the recess and go to county commission reports. Who wants to start? Start in the middle with Dawn? Start in the middle with Dawn.
The middle's wrong.
Oh,
Offset middle, how's that?
guys, I just want to touch on a few things that I've seen happen recently. I ended up knowing what happened at the Groundwater District Number 2's meeting yesterday. I think our commission will be receiving a letter here in the next few days on some reports and studies that have been done. They are making some recommendations to us on how we handle any future developments that would require any substantial amount of water. Don't talk about any specific industries. It's just that there are beginning to be, these studies show there are some various problems with in the water district, and we are getting close to capacity on what the district will handle. In certain areas, it's worse than others, but their cover letter makes the point that we're all in the same water basin and getting our water from the same source. So what one county would do, like I've said in several conversations here, that line in the sand between them and us is just a line in the sand. Whatever one group of us decides to do affects the other groups surrounding us and their constituents. So I look for a lot further action from them with us to make these points, but I just wanted to make you aware that I became aware of it because I know some guys on that committee over there, on that board over there is what I should call it. And there will be further discussions on the way they hope, or they're giving us input on what they hope we can do to help the situation. A few other things, I've been attending a few meetings and various other things, and happy to be out in the public learning. So with that, I'll leave it go.
Well, I'm sure everybody up here has had their share of phone calls and emails and everything from the meeting that we had not too long ago. And I'm one of those. I have an open mind. I like to look at a problem and figure out what is going to be best for everybody. And I know we represent a fairly large county land mass wise, and then with a population of over 61,000. And again, I'm all for people that want to share their opinion, but if somebody is trying to scare me into making a vote or do something, I'm not going to go for that. So I will tell you that. And I know we were, one of the things that we've been talking about is water. And I do the golf course, Salt Lake, that wasn't brought up today, but they do have water rights out there. and they have, from what they've signed for, should be plenty even if we did have a drought, which we're not in right now with the rain we're getting. The other thing, though, I wanted to press is, we had a local paper mill in Hutchinson that closed 3 years ago, and they were using 2 to 3 million gallons of water per day, and they had the rights to use up to 5 million gallons of water a day. Most people don't know that. When they closed in 2023, the city of Hutch got those water rights back, and it was acquired to be used as an incentive to attract new industry that might need water. So again, it's something that the average person in Reno County and in the city of Hutch, unless you drove by that paper mill, you didn't know it was here. And it's been here. It was here. I think it was in 1909. I think is when it started. So it was a long time. So again, there's information out there. It's real easy to fear monger and scare people into believing this or that. And again, like I stated, you could take the best thing in the world and make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world just with a few pictures or people saying this or that. So I don't want to believe or believe that that is what's necessarily going on, but I also want what's best for Reno County and the residents here. And that's always been my goal. When I was elected, the person that I was running against said that they were looking for younger people. That would be great with fresher ideas. Well, I like to think, even though at my age, I have some pretty good ideas and want to improve Reno County and all the smaller communities inside it to make it where we look inviting to businesses, but also young couples. That's the future. Either we're going to be a retirement community and it won't last, or we want to have, young families with little kids going to school and playing in the parks and doing this and that. So anyway, I won't, go on anymore, but I just wanted to state, a couple things that I've been thinking about. Thank you.
Okay. Ron?
I do like the idea that GMD2 is getting involved in this and giving us some advice or recommendation because that's what we need to go forward. I mean, it is more input on these things that come to question. That's very good. The phone call emails have slowed down a touch since the meeting. I did get an invite for a town hall, which I declined at this time because scared to death what that turned into. So other than that, it's going pretty good. But yes, I wish we'd get a little more input from all the entities and governmental bodies that are or could be involved in this. Would really go a long ways for us decide which direction we should go. I mean, it's very helpful.
Okay. Ready?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I have lots to say, but nothing today.
Okay, all right. Well, I know, to follow up with what Don said, I know there was a meeting down at Pretty Prairie with the Equus Beds here the other day, and shared that information. I haven't revisited the talk with the people at Pretty Prairie yet, but I know that sounds like that's the same thing I was looking at, is the fact that looking after and being careful about mining our water. And of course, we all got that in mind. And think about that when you're watering your lawn when it's raining out. Okay. I too, have been invited to some meetings, but my theory on that is when we get we can talk all day long about generalities, but until there's some specific information that we have, then we can get serious about our conversations. There's a deal coming up here in a couple weeks, Lit, that I hope everybody takes full advantage of, and that's, Pastor Tim mentioned it earlier, is the 250th anniversary of a proven experience. I call it, after 250 years, pretty proven experience. And we have something that a lot of people in a lot of countries don't have, and that's the ability to share our conversations, to share our ideas, and not be afraid of being punished. We have the right to be able to go to whatever church we want to go to and practice our religion without fear of dire consequences in our health and our life. So, study the Constitution a little bit, have good times with your friends, and enjoy the 250th anniversary. And we got some range, so we can really enjoy shooting maybe a few fireworks off. All right? Just a few, you know. And also there's a lot of events going on around to celebrate. South Hutch starts on the 26th and 27th. Sterling, I'm sure, and there's been almost all communities will have some type of family events going on. And what a great time to get together and visit with your neighbors. Enjoy the 4th. That's all I have. And now we will go to County Administrator report.
All right, thank you. And have monthly reports only on this one. Only have 2 departments in there. It's emergency management and youth services. Any questions on those 2 department reports? Okay. Other thing, a couple other items I wanted to mention. I handed out kind of a dollar bill graphic. I put it on your desk. IT helped create this yesterday. This is just based on requests right now, and as the budget looks right now, before any major changes are made, which I know there will be some changes, but I wanted the commission to see this kind of upfront before at the next, because another part of this, at the next commission meeting is on July 8th, is basically the time, unless you schedule another special commission meeting, that'll be the time to set the maximum budget for 2027, the maximum mill levy, maximum expenditures per fund. So there's not much time. That's why I've been trying to meet, kind of get you guys some information and meet and see, let you know what the budget looks like overall now that it's being put into the state budget form versus just the budget sessions where you were looking at expenditures. What this dollar bill graphic, the first page, that kind of shows the breakdown of fund percent of the total tax, of all tax levied funds. As you see, the general fund's 51%, road and bridge is 19%, and then it goes down. The next page, to me, this is probably the most telling when you look at expenditures. This is department or fund of the total tax levy. So you can see that 40% of it is 2 departments. And then it breaks down employee benefits. That's on here. That's health insurance. That's the only thing out of employee benefits anymore because we moved the rest of the taxes to the department budgets. And then we have special equipment, cash reserve, capital improvements. And that cash reserve is only the cash reserve that's in the general fund. Employee benefits has a cash reserve of $1 million. General fund has $4 million budgeted. So that's the amount that equals that. But then you can kind of see all the other departments and partner agencies that make up small fractions of the tax levy. Again, that's just this kind of just give you a high level overview before we get into the July 8th meeting. And then the last page is just the department percent out of just the general fund. Since that's usually the fund most people talk about is the general fund, most of our departments are out of that, but it shows you kind of the breakdown within the general fund. Just kind of wanted you to see that kind of as a, in advance. And then again, reminder that next commission meeting, July 8th, is when we'll set the maximum. That's not the amount that you're passing. I want to make that clear before we get to that point. That's just the very maximum. So right now, if it's, and I don't even have it up, say it's a 2 mil increase with the request, that you could set that as maximum, knowing that you may want to get to a flat mill levy or revenue neutral rate. That's up to you guys between July 8th and I believe it would be the first meeting in September is when the public hearing would be scheduled and probably the passage of the budget. So you would have most of the month of July and all of August to make decisions.
But, you know, the max, I mean, when we set the max, this is only my second year in the budget, so it's like pulling teeth. It appears like where that's set, that's the direction we end up at. I mean, is that normal? I mean,
No. Well, the max is the absolute max. Sometimes we may get to where that may be about what's going to be adopted, but no, usually the commission in the past, the 6 years I've been here, I don't know that it's ever been, the max has been actually adopted. It usually gets cut to either below the current mill levy or there's been years with the revenue neutral rate. So it depends what you're willing or able to cut.
But you got a timeline to set that, we do.
Yes.
With the state, so yeah. That's,
right, it's all the state.
It's a statute.
Yeah, it's not, otherwise we would take more time and not publish something until we know what's really gonna happen. But this would be, whatever you pass on July 8th as the maximum, that then goes to the county clerk who has to have all of that by July 20th, I believe.
How come it seems like everything we do, our time schedule is under the gun? I mean, just now. I mean, instead of.
Yeah, but it's not set by us either,
Well,
though, Ron.
gosh,
That's the
can we
heck
change
of it.
that?
It's usually
If we
statutes.
were gonna set it, we would set it different. If we get our compadre here up there, maybe he can help change that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, just don't give you the needed amount of time to get things.
Yeah.
But, and that,
Gives us time to draw.
and Commissioner Vincent, and one of the things, that maximum, that's what will then go out from the county clerk for all taxing entities to all the taxpayers. That's the revenue neutral, or that'll show the amount above the R&R. So that's what then gets mailed to all taxpayers. And then it'll show that we're gonna have a public hearing in September and that they have a chance at that meeting in September to discuss with the county commission. So but yeah, it's set by the state, but that's the date we have to make that, you guys have to make that determination. So just kind of giving you a heads up, next week when the agenda goes out, that's what you're gonna see is pretty much the max.
And since we have Sandra here and Adam here, what a great deal to put all 3 pages on the website of this. And then maybe the Tribune can help direct people to that website for their information. Or print it yourself, okay?
And
It's
this is
very interesting.
This is just the request, so this is before the changes, so
Yeah.
it will change before it's finalized when we have the budget.
Pick on you.
And I can give Adam my copy, it's fine too, he can take that, it's obviously public.
I think the public
Document.
just needs to know that
Yeah.
that this information is there for their information. And so that they can contact their local commissioner about it.
The other item I just wanted to mention, this is Joshua Changa, our intern, the public management intern. This is his last week, so Friday's his last day. Today at noon, we do have a kind of a lunch. Commissioners, you're of course invited. It's here in the veterans room. This staff, admin, we individually, and I think HR, a couple departments are bringing food that we got on our own and gonna have a lunch with Joshua, celebrate his year with the county, and wish him well. And, and Joshua, thank you for your year. Do you want to let him know what you're gonna do next?
Good morning, commissioners. Good morning, everyone. I thank you for the opportunity to serve here in Reno County as the first public sector management intern It's a great honor, and I appreciate every one of you, your support, your guidance, your leadership, especially Randy. I really appreciate you for always having the time for me, listening to my concerns, and then also assisting with certain tasks. Thank you, everyone. My next step is to pursue a PhD in public administration and public affairs at Rutgers University, the State University of New Jersey, in August. So I'll be moving there in August. Newark is the city. And I hope one day I'll come back to serve, if not Reno County, but the citizens of the US or my country or wherever. I'll get a job after my 4-year program at Rutgers. I thank you, everyone, and I appreciate your support. And I will recommend that you continue to roll out this internship program for new graduates. It's really invaluable, and I'm excited about what I've learned here, the growth and then the development. I really appreciate everyone, and I hope every year you continue to recruit new interns just to have real life and local government management before they take up roles in the local government and sector. Thank you.
Thank you for your contributions to Reno County while you were here, and keep us informed of how it's going.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Be safe.
Thank you.
You didn't pick up any of his bad habits, did you? I'm just asking.
You know, he was at the city too. No.
I'm just kidding.
Share that part.
No, but it is, I say that because it is a joint city and county internship, so I'm sure he learned a lot of great things from the city of Hutchinson also, so. Some of the city is invited to the lunch also.
That's awesome. Thank you again. Yeah.
Great to meet you and get to know you.
That's all I have, Commissioners.
All right. Okay, at this point in time, it's time for public comments on items that were not on the agenda. I know we have a neighbor here from the county next to us, so would like to share something. So anyone else, please feel free. Thank you, sir. Hey, right up.
So good morning, Commissioners. I am John Kinsey, and this is my service dog, Golly, who is here, helping me here. I am the Director of Planning and Zoning in McPherson County, and I was sent down here by the Board of Commissioners back in February of this year. The board asked me to take a look at WEMIS data, which is public data that we have for Groundwater Management District 2, and to see what's going on with our wells and make any recommendation. So what I have in front of you is basically an executive summary for the commissioners. There is a second document that has more of the detail behind all of this, if you're so inclined to look at that, or if you want to share it with anybody within your purview. Basically what we have going on, and a lot of this was focused on McPherson County, but as you may know and what you had heard, we did present this to Sedgwick, and Harvey County. Last week, I was at the GMD2 meeting yesterday. You guys were last on the list for scheduling, so that's why I'm here today. But what we are looking at is the GMD2 was established in 1975 and covers the 4 counties of Harvey, McPherson, Reno, and Sedgwick counties, and that's by Kansas law. Also in McPherson County, there was an IGUCA that was created in 1979, which was the first one in the state, and that is a intensive groundwater usage area. And what we looked at, or what we are seeing when we look through the record, if I can just call your attention briefly to, there's a page, it's about 4 pages in, it's titled number 5 GMD2 tag data set. We looked at all of the wells and that are that groundwater management has, and what they do is they just look at the depth of the well to where the water is. And so if you go back one page, so number 4, the 50-year comparison shows the number of wells and how many are deeper. McPherson County on that one was at 88% were deeper. Reno County was right on our heels at 81% deeper. But what's more important is that McPherson County, when you take a look at it, is down by 7.5, 8 feet. But when you look at the number 5, which is what I was alluding to, McPherson County is at 90% of the wells were deeper that GMD2 monitors over a 50-year period. Reno County was right on our heels at 82.8%. Harvey and Sedgwick County, both of those had a negative change, which means that the water was actually coming up. It was, how do I want to say that? It was the water level was shallower, which is the opposite of what you're thinking. So that means that's a good thing. So what the commissioners have asked for us to do is to come to you and also with the GMD2 board to start taking a look at these things. And what I've always said is that as a commission, I'm on the planning, obviously with the planning committee for the county, we always look at things locally, but we need to start taking a look at things regionally, because we may look at, an economic development program for a specific area in our county, but we need to also take into account, does it impact other things? And in this case, we're looking at the water. And so the water doesn't, like what you guys said earlier, it's not the line in the sand just because of a county line. It does go beyond that. So we're just asking that you take a look at those whenever you have any requests for large volumes of water being used. And you can always reach out to GMD2. They have a hydrologist on staff, and they could help you with looking at that. I did attend a meeting yesterday, and one of the things that they're going to start, or what they're proposing to do, is to look at the irrigators and the irrigation pivots with a program to try to minimize the amount of water that's being used from there. That may get us down to what we call a Q stable level, which would mean it would just stabilize where we are. Nothing in this study talks about a recharge rate. We're only looking at the depth of the well, so how far down it is. So we would think that as we start going through these initiatives and we try to minimize the amount of water that's currently being used, that's already been authorized by DWR, then we're hoping that water levels will start coming up. But we just wanted to put that out so that you guys could understand it and start thinking from that regional mindset when it comes to water. Do you have any question?
I've got one. And it's not contrary to any of the facts and the things you bring it. My question was, how many of the wells that were tested were located in heavy eastern red cedar population covered areas? Because we've known from Barber County the difference in after the fire came through that area there, how much more water they had and how the creeks ran. So I was just curious if you had that data on how many wells, but you think that could be
Right. No, I don't have that data, but what I did do is the data that you see here is what the well records were showing over a 50-year period. So what we did is what this study did is we took out any of those conditions where we may have a drought for 2 or 3 years, followed by 2 or 3 years of heavy rain, so on and so forth. And again, these are just the wells that are reported back to GMD2, usually on a quarterly or an annual basis. And it tells you on the first page, in fact, in the very first paragraph, about halfway through, that in the 4 counties, there were 1,686 wells, and they did 284,000 groundwater level measurements over that 50-year period. So this is not looking at in case of a fire or whatever. We're looking at it, the water level dropping, and how much is it dropping by in feet. On the very last page of that first document, I did break down by township within McPherson County, and by where it's located, where the level dropped the most. And then here it was in King City Township, which is close to the CHS refinery, same township that they're in.
I would just think if the people don't realize how much the difference that makes when they.
Right. And as we get to more to the southern part of the county, in McPherson County, it gets into the sand because you're coming into Reno County. So we have that play going on, and so we just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of this.
Something that
all
permit holders received 2, 3, 4 weeks ago is this map of where areas of concern are, and our staff should have received that. We do have 2 permits with our rural water districts, and Reno County has a new area right here that they're working on some changes on, and that's a new one. These 2 right here are old problems that have been there forever. That's the salt, right? Am I thinking right?
And one of them was being expanded a little bit. On that
Yes,
map.
the McPherson around the refinery in that area that's been critically short.
Right.
But I'm pointing out that there are places in Reno County that have popped up. So I guess the point I'm making that was made available to a large segment of people.
Right.
If you have a permit, they sent you that so that you would be aware of what's happening.
So it's my understanding where this is at this point too, just so that you know, with the GMD2 meeting yesterday, I did not stay to see how the final vote was, but they have proposals like that thing that you were seeing. They are sending that off to the chief engineer. That's due by July 1st. The chief engineer will then make a ruling on whether they will allow the program to continue or whether he's going to step in and override it and do something that would be out of GMD2's control, so to speak. So that's where that is. Not that we're sounding alarm bells or anything, but that's just part of where the process is.
Well, there are people who have been working on it and are working on it. That's what the
Right.
public needs to know. And because at some of these meetings we've been attending, it's talked about that nobody's saying anything. The state is doing their studies. Groundwater District Number 2 has been given an opportunity to sort through and work through a lot of this locally. Should that not happen, other things will happen. That's my understanding. I didn't attend the meeting, but they've been working on these things for a considerable amount of time. It's nothing new, but it's kind of coming to a head. The state wants action.
Right, and so that's why McPherson County Board of Commissioners just asked me to just, we came up with this report and just asked to share with the other governing bodies within the GMD2 as well as the GMD2 board. That everybody's, yeah, we know about it, but a lot of times, water is the last thing you think of. It's in the rearview mirror. It goes along for a ride in the car until you're out of it, and so they're just trying to make it so that you can start thinking about it a little bit more in the front seat of the car with you,
Well, you've already talked to the other entities, and next week we have a Quad County meeting with where three of these commissions have according to a visit from you and a conversation with you, so I'm sure it'll come up in our Quad County discussions.
Okay. Yeah. And some counties have already reached out to me and want me to come back and get more information. So, I'm willing to share that with whatever you guys need. So do you have any other questions or?
Sorry, I stepped on your deal earlier in the
That's
commissioner
okay.
comments. I didn't realize that you were here for that purpose.
That's okay.
It's important it doesn't does it come up more than once, it's okay.
Yeah, it's important that it gets addressed, like you're saying.
Right. All right. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Sell, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I do not.
Okay. We will adjourn the meeting.